Hello! Oh, Jesus Christ. Calm your tits. Actually, no, just calm one tit. Have one part tit, like... Jesus. But, hi guys. Today I am going to talk about the theory that Titanic didn't actually sink. The theory is, and I call it the Olympic/Titanic theory, but however, the RMS Titanic, the world's largest and most luxurious cruise liner, it hit an iceberg on its maiden voyage early on the morning of the 5th of April 1912. Within 3 hours, it had sunk to the bottom of the ocean, killing 1,500 of the ship's 2,224 passengers and crew. Titanic was one... Someone just randomly fucking screamed outside, okay. However, the Titanic was one of 3 Olympic-class ocean liners built at the Harland and Wolff shipyards in Belfast. The other 2 being the RMS Britannic and the RMS Olympic. The Olympic was launched a year before the Titanic, but seemed to share its more famous sister ships, poor luck. Within months of its launch, in 1911, it had 2 serious collisions. Some authors have suggested that the damage to the Olympic was more serious than admitted. Repairs would be ruinously expensive, running into millions of pounds. The theory suggests that the Olympic would be swapped with the Titanic and sunk in a staged accident. The Titanic, now disguised as the Olympic, would then carry on in service. The 2 ships were essentially identical save for minor differences and were moored side by side in dry dock. The swap would entail literally nothing more than swapping a few nameplates. The suggested reason why they did this was to collect the insurance money when the Titanic sank. Since Titanic was supposed to be unsinkable, it was insured for a fuckload more than the Olympic, especially since the Olympic was already damaged. So, basically their plan was to swap it out because they knew the Olympic would sink. That's the thing, they knew it would sink, it was going on its last journey. So they swapped them out, because then if they said it was the Titanic that just went out and sank on its first journey, and it was insured for a lot of money because it was unsinkable and stuff, if that would sink on its first voyage, maiden voyage, it would be they would make a lot more money of the Olympic, if the Titanic sank on its first journey, they would make a lot of insurance money from that. And also there are reputations that the company that made the Titanic and Olympic and the Britannic was basically going bankrupt. So they needed the money, which is even more proof. But I have some more evidence. And this actually, this theory seems not that believable at first, but the evidence is kind of scary. So, proponents of the swap theory have pointed out disparities in the number of portholes on the ship. The Olympic had 16 and the Titanic had 14. However, photographs taken of the Titanic in dry dock show it with 14 portholes. But by the time of when it was going to leave dry dock, it now had 16 portholes, just like the Olympic. And that's suspicious. And the second piece of evidence is last-minute cancellations. Many of the richest and most prestigious names in the early 20th century society were booked onto the Titanic. J.P. Morgan, the international financier who owned the White Star's parent company, was due to travel on the Titanic but cancelled his trips a few days before the departure, claiming illness. So there are suspicions of that he actually, got to hear that, oh yeah, no, don't go because, we're gonna sink that ship. You're not gonna survive if you go on it. And then he claimed to be sick. So that's the theory. And honestly, I feel like that would be believable. And the third evidence, and this is really suspicious. So the SS Californian, also owned by J.P. Morgan, was a large passenger ship that was ultimately blamed for the loss of life on the Titanic. It behaved somewhat oddly around the time of the Titanic's voyage. Carrying no passengers, it steamed into the middle of the Atlantic, stopped, and waited. Its only cargo was 3,000 woolen blankets and jumpers. So, like, it wasn't shipping those things to somewhere. It literally went into the middle of the Atlantic and just stopped with those things. So people are speculating that it, you know, that JP Morgan knew, and that's why it didn't go on the Titanic, of course. And since, like, they knew that the ship would sink, they sent out the SS Californian so that, you know, they would be ready to save people, you know, when the ship sank. And honestly, that is really believable, because why the fuck else would this huge passenger ship just fucking steam into the middle of the Atlantic, just stop and wait with 3,000 woolen blankets and jumpers? Like, that's fucking suspicious. That you can't just, like, blame that on something. You can't just, like, explain that in any logical way. That's just fucking weird. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that it was the Titanic that sank? Do you think it was the Olympic that sank? Do you believe this evidence? And if you have any more evidence for this theory, comment down below, please. And also, if you have any other theories you want me to talk about, then please comment them down below. I would really appreciate it. And if you liked this video and want me to do more conspiracy theory videos and stuff like that, give this video a thumbs up. And if you like this video also, you can subscribe to me, because, please. But yeah, so that was all for this time. But I had a lot of fun talking about this theory, because I really love this theory, and if you love conspiracy theories like I do, then, you know, let me know and I can make more of these videos. But that was all for me. I hope you have a great day, week, month, year, and I'll see you next time. Bye!